Hey guys, welcome to the December 6th, 2023 Upload VR Winter Showcase. There's probably a way smoother way of saying all that. And you're watching it right here on Without Parole. Thanks for hanging out with us. We know that you could watch this pretty much anywhere, including the actual Upload channel. My name is Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And over here, making his, dude, seriously, 2 appearances in less than a week. Is that what it's been, Ryan?
Wow. I'm honored, Brian. I'm honored. Yeah, it was just over a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, honored, but also my last.
I don't know. I'm just trying to blow smoke here. What was to say? I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you chose to be here. Like, I mean, is honored the best word? I mean, it's good enough. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, a little behind the scenes. I woke up late today, didn't get anything done that I wanted to get done this morning, and then I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't stream the Upload VR showcase because I have other things that I need to be working on. I have reviews, I have games I need to be playing. Obviously, there's got to be a breaking news report following this with any of the announcements. It just seems like a lot of shit going on, and I was like, well, I didn't even ask anyone to be my co-host. So if Ryan says no, then I just won't do it. And then sadly, you said yes, and I was like, well, now I'm on.
Sadly, I imagine. Yeah, I freed up the day to actually play some games and try to catch up on all of December's releases at least a little bit. And then you had to go and interrupt that game playing with more game chat, and I can't say no to talking about VR, Brian. So of course I said yes.
Dude, it's been an insane week. It's been an insane week already. We obviously just had to cover Arizona Sunshine. We just had to cover Arashi Castles of Sin, Keys for Ancient Dungeons.
Thank you for covering that, by the way, because I'm not now because of your review.
Oh,
I don't want to play that.
Man, yeah, it was really painful for me, especially for a game that, like, I thought was, not great on PSVR 1. I think I gave it a 7.9, 7.8, something like that. I was really hoping this would push it into like the mid 8 territories, but instead it fucking did the opposite. It actually took it back to it actually pulled it way down. Minor graphical improvements, but other than that, it was kind of a mess. So
yeah, I agree. I actually liked the game. Like, it was kind of one of those it wasn't great, but it was the whole Tenchu vibes, and I thought it did a good enough job. Where it holds like a little like a place in my heart for like its effort. It tried, I guess. Yep. And so when they're getting this final cut thing, I was just like, yeah, I would love to see this game get like the way it's supposed to be, and more visceral combat, and more this and that and this. And watching your review, I was like, man, they didn't do a damn thing with this game, and that's disappointing because I said, especially in the last few years, like I'm sure you're the same way, but like my standards for VR games have increased. Like there's the bare what this game got away with 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's just not acceptable now. I can't sit there and be like, yeah, no, it's fine that the melee doesn't really work, and that you can just hop through a whole stage no problem. And it's just this. It was fine when we didn't have these things, but now that we're 7 years deep into VR. Like, just I can't tolerate mediocrity like I could, and now you're being called out for it, developers, and they should be, I guess. It's not trying to apologize for VR. Well, the VR isn't an excuse, for any reason, but I think now we're at a point now where, I'm still done, I guess, apologizing for VR shortcomings when I've seen games do what Arashi tries to do so much better, and It's just, sorry guys, like someone else has done this better, and you're just not up to snuff.
Yeah, and you know who's done it better? You know who's done it better than Endeavor 1? Fucking Skydance Interactive, who took a part in this port, which really bothers me, because I think when they say, hey, Skydance is helping out with this port, we're going to make sure that it's up to PSVR 2 standards, then suddenly you start expecting things. You start expecting, hey, better physics on everything, weapon weight. You start expecting all of your, everything that you're doing to have a little bit of an impact in this world rather than it just being flat and stale. And so I was like, well, where is that? Where is that? And honestly, if this was just a straight port and it was just the same game that we already had, and it was like a free upgrade for PSVR 1 owners, and they just kind of did the bare minimum, it would have been fine. Right? Score would have come down a little bit, but man, it felt terrible to play. There were just some basic problems that this game has that weren't in the original version. And so, that brought it down to just the point where I'm like, well, I can't even fucking recommend this. This isn't Galaxy Kart the way the Galaxy Kart launch territory, right? Where it's just like, man, until they fucking really spend some time fixing this shit, don't bother. Yeah. So Luckily, I think we both had a lot more fun with Arizona Sunshine too this week. So, I people look at our scores. I think you gave it a 7.5. I gave it 7.2, which is funny because you and I were in constant contact during the entire review process, and I think both of our scores bounced around a little bit, but we're always in the same vicinity. And I think a lot of people looked at those scores that we gave it and said, "Oh, well, this must be trash." Sevens aren't trash. Seven's still fun.
I appreciate your review scores because your scores like when I first started doing this, it was like if you have a score of 1 to 10, then to me it's like 100%. 10 out of 10, that's maximum fun, and a 1 is like 10% fun. There's still fun to be had in a one game. It's just there's 90% of the game is hot garbage. So if you gave if I give a game a 5 out of 10, there's still fun to be had in there. Like half of this game is engaging and entertaining, and I enjoy it. It's just the other half needs some work. So to sit there and say like a game is 75% good or 72% awesome, 72% of this game I thoroughly enjoy. There's just 28% that needs to do some tweaking and fixing, and some of that is fixable in patches. And people are just like, blah, another cash grab, another dude, like I'm not saying this. It's so weird. The gaming industry has now it's like boxing, where every round is either like it's like a 9 or 10 round, right? An 8 if someone screws up bad. Why do you have a 10-point system if you're not using 8 of those points?
Right.
It defeats the whole purpose of having a 10-point system. So yeah, when people say, even I get, I'm reviewing a game now called Cookie Run for the Meta Quest. It just kind of, it's an adventure kind of in the vein of Zelda a little bit, but it's much more cartoony, a little bit kidsy. But it actually surprised me with kind of just how good it was, considering how much I thought it was going to be crappy. And I'm going to give it probably like a 6.5. But it's like, I'm actually impressed by this. I was surprised at how good it was, because I was expecting hot garbage. Like this game is still 65. It's not. It's good. But people are like, oh no, hot garbage, never again. Like no, this is. I really wish more people, like you and I, because I definitely noticed it with you, where like you said, you'll score a game of 6, but your review is like, look, it's fun. It's just got some shit. Whereas the average consumer, if it's anything below an 8. It's like, no, I'm just selling my headset. It's done. And I'm not, not all you game cats, obviously, but generally speaking, especially you go on Reddits and that kind of thing, especially Reddit with Arizona Sunshine. It's just, man, 7 hard pass, hard pass. What are you talking about? This game is enjoyable. It's fun.
Yeah. John Spino says $50 for a 7 is not good. I completely disagree. I think that, I played Dead Island 2. It was one of the only flat screen games I played over the last year. That game was a 7 all over the place, and I bought the collector's edition for like $80 because that was the game I was looking forward to for like 5 years. That ended up being a pretty fucking basic zombie shooter. Even in VR, it would be like, actually it'd be way better in VR, but for a flat screen game, it's like very much a 7. And I was like, it was exactly what I was looking for. It was a fun 7. So I think The only thing that bugs me about this whole thing, about starting off the week and starting off the month a little bit on a mid note or a slightly down note when it comes to Arashi, is that people use it as ammunition, and they say, "Well, PSVR 2 sucking it up again, really fucking terrible games on PSVR 2." I was like, that Arashi's not just on PSVR 2. Are you aware of this? Like, this is Arizona Sunshine 2.
The Quest version as well too. I haven't played the Quest version, but if you go to the Quest store, every game has like 4.5 stars out of 5. And Arashi's sitting at a 3, I think, right now, which is a telltale sign that game is not good.
Right. So, I mean, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with PSVR 2. It's barely a problem with VR as a whole. It's a problem with the games industry as a whole. Like every game that's coming out, even Starfield got very mixed reviews. That game should have been a 10 across the board, right? For a game that was in development that long, for a game that we had that high expectations for, from a studio that has delivered games like Fallout New Vegas. Come on, it's a problem across the board right now. And so, if you try to blame PSVR 2 or even VR specifically, then you're just not looking at what's happening in the video game world as a whole. Anyway, enough of us talking about the shit that's already gone down and actually ruining tonight's Gamescast with me and Wes. We're going to have this exact same conversation, I'm sure, all over again.
Sorry, Wes.
What we got to do is we got to talk about this Upload VR showcase that's coming up in like 13 minutes. Dude, so the things that we know right off the bat, I think the 2 studios that have really said, "Hey, we're gonna be here." Perp Games, who's sponsoring it, said that they're gonna have Vertigo 2. Mixture in Madison VR, which, I mean, 3 games that I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of. And also, I did talk to Perp today, and they said it's totally cool for us to say that we've been playing Vertigo 2.
Oh, sweet.
And more importantly, that the embargo is up way sooner than you'd expect, guys. The embargo for this game, you're not going to fucking believe this. It comes out next week. The embargo is up this Friday. So, like, expect a lot of coverage this Friday, right in the heat of, like, Resident Evil 4 territory. Like, that's the same day Resident Evil 4 comes out. Like, what a fucking amazing time for PSVR 2, for VR. Dude, this week has just gone from insane to fucking over the top insane. Yep. But who else we got? We got Wanna Dev Studio saying that there's going to be Ragnarok DLC or something to do with Ragnarok. That's going to be there, and then they have also got a new project. Do we know of anything else, Ryan? I know that you kind of weren't even aware that this thing was happening until kind of last minute.
I don't know a goddamn thing. I honestly had no idea this was even happening today. I totally forgot this even existed. And then when you asked me to join, I was just like, when is it? Like, I thought you meant like tomorrow or Friday or something like that. I'm like, no, it's in like 2 hours. I'm like, oh shit. So I don't know a damn thing. That being said, I don't really like going into these things knowing a lot anyways. Like, I do enjoy the surprises from these things. And, we see a lot of, games that are already out or games that are coming out this week or games that we've seen, stuff before. Like, I'm sure we're going to see. Well, that's not true. I guess this is upload. All right, I'll save that thought. But it's always nice to see just what's coming. It's I love, even though it's going to be a much more of an indie showcase, indie surprises, man. I mean, Vertigo 2 is a one-man dev team. Like, that's indie as you can. This is indie as you can get. Yeah. So, so to sit there and say, like, just that, we're not going to get like the AAA that we're looking for. This is not the point of this showcase by any stretch. This is across all VR platforms. I'm hoping we see an overall, I guess, increase in quality just because of the Quest 3 coming out and the kind of bar for standalone games going up a bit higher. That being said, with the Quest 2 still dominating the market, I doubt we'll see that. But there's hopes.
Yeah, I feel like I always got to go into these upload showcases, and this is not a disparaging remark against Upload, because they do their own thing. They're very Quest centric over there. So I always go into these expecting the showcase to be very Quest heavy, and then by proxy expecting PSVR 2 logos at the end of some of these games that are also coming to Quest. So I try to keep my expectations low. We were hanging out in the Discord voice chat earlier today, and somebody mentioned, oh, this would be a perfect place to reveal something like re-reveal like San Andreas for Quest. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think that's too big for Upload. I just think that, like, that's something we'd see at the Game Awards. That's something we'd see at Meta's own showcase. I think that's something they would want to save for themselves. So I would say keep your expectations in check, and then we'll have a much better time. What else? What are you hoping for? Without going into what different developers have said and who's going to be there and who's not going to be there. What would be your hope with those expectations in mind?
Like, just a surprise. I mean, like I said, the upload showcase, said temper expectations because it's a lot of smaller devs and smaller publishers. Like Meta, Meta and Sony obviously don't want, they're not going through Upload to advertise their exclusives.
Right.
So, like you said, like, you're going to see something like Asgard's Wrath, another preview, like Grand Theft Auto, like you just said, that's not going to happen. That would be insane if that were to happen. Just because, those bigger, the bigger VR guys have those studios on lock, and those are their games to announce. But that being said, there are a billion developers, billion's a high number, but developers and publishers out there that are, have been in VR for a while, or are just now dipping their toes in VR. So to see a new studio try their hand at VR, or to see a veteran studio grow. I mean, the basic example we have of that is thinking
about Vitruvius over there.
Yeah, thank you, man. You're just reading my head, my mind.
That's what I'm here for, Ryan.
Yeah, man. But like watching that studio go from Mervils to their latest one, which I'm forgetting the name of, like seeing that studio
Mervils to Shadow Legend to Arcanage, crazy evolution.
Like, it's insane to see, like I said, go back and play Mervils. It's not great. I mean, it's to see where they've gone from that is insane, and props to them. And so I guess the idea of seeing studios kind of, take those next leaps forward and maybe, try to be bigger than they were. I think that's kind of, I guess, what I'm looking forward to seeing, or like I said, just seeing new studios pop up all the time, or from the guys that brought you whatever, when new studios are formed and it's a bunch of old, ex Halo employees, because I think everyone made that, worked on the Halo series at one point in time. But just stuff like that, it's VR is, we're still, we're still growing. VR is still growing, and the more the merrier.
Let's check in with the chat a little bit here. We got Kill Artist 1 who tipped like literally 20 minutes ago with the $5 tip, says, "Hey Brian and Ryan, I finally started my secret project for the GameCat meetup today. Well, tell us more." Oh wait, then it wouldn't be a secret, I guess. My bad. I saw Apprentice Summer Scales in the chat saying an extended look at Numata PSVR 2 mechanics could be good. Dude, Numata is one of those games that I feel like currently is flying under the radar because, again, I think it's a one-man dev team, and so there's only so much ability to get the word out about his game. But man, like this game looks more Resident Evil than Resident Evil games lately, at least, and it looks incredible. I do think that they kind of pushed off the PSVR 2 part of that game for a while. I think it's going to release. Numata is going to release on the flat screen, and then we'll get the PSVR 2 stuff later. That's what it seems like. Because I actually think that maybe Perp started showing off that game a little bit too early as a PSVR 2 game, because it just wasn't, and the developer still on top of that is is still showing off things. Like he's like, "Oh look, I implemented a new inventory system." I was like, "Wait, I thought your game was almost out. You're talking, so you're just like still getting the basics in." So I think there's a long way to go there. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime we see, anytime we see something about Numata, it makes me really happy. Man, I'm trying to think of all the other games that are coming out. Like, dude, I would love to see if anybody watched my video on the top 10 upcoming games of 2024, then you might be familiar with Into the Darkness. That's I believe by Game Boom, and this is just a game that they've been working on for a really long time. It looks incredible, and I feel like we're getting to the point where they've been saying 2024 for this game for the better part of like I think 16 months, something like that, 18 months. And so this would be like we're getting to that time period where it's time to start showing off even more gameplay than they've already showed off. Here, let me see if I get a trailer for that so you guys have some idea what I'm talking about here. There we go. He does not look great. Also,
I'm trying to find my upcoming list here.
And also like you guys are obviously familiar with LON, LONN. Like that studio just like really wanted to bring their shit to PSVR 2 and didn't have the means. I don't think it sold all that well on PC VR, and so I've been trying to hook them up with different port studios, telling Perp to get involved, telling whoever I can to get involved. And so this is the kind of place where announcements like that, like, hey, this game's still in development, hey, we're still going to bring it to PSVR 2. This is the kind of place I think that would be perfect for those type of announcements. Yeah,
for sure, 100%. I'm gonna duck out for 2 seconds. I apologize. I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
All right, cool. All right, we're just gonna talk to the chat because now I get no one to talk to. Flame hat in the chat says Brain and Rain, good duo. Yeah, man, I've never seen I don't give a fuck if you spell my name with an I, right? Like that happens. People spell their name with an I. But people constantly misspell Brian as Brain. So I like that, Brain and Rain. Macho, the real estate procrastinating GameCat with the $5 tip says,
back.
Oh, hi. Put that into context. Arizona Sunshine 2 wants $50 while Resident Evil 4 was $45. No, Resident Evil 4 was $60. And maybe it's on sale right now or something. But yeah, you can't compare sale prices to retail prices. Vertigo 2 is $39. Is Vertigo 2 $39? I thought it was $30 on Steam. Propagation was $29. Maybe he's in a different country or something. Yeah, but Propagation, as polished as Propagation was, don't forget that was like a 3 or 4 hour game. Didn't have any multiplayer. Didn't have the replayability or horde mode or like it's. Listen, I'm not defending Vertigo games. I'm not defending Arizona Sunshine 2. But keep these things in perspective. The thing that really puts things into perspective is when you have a game like Gran Turismo 7 and a game like Village and a game like Resident. Like here are your AAA games that are only retailing for $10 more than something like Arizona Sunshine 2. That is definitely, I agree with you, Macho, what puts things in perspective. I there's a little part of me that that thinks that Vertigo Games put out a better game than they did. I mean, do you think that, Ryan? Like, because I feel like they think this is like internally they're like, yes, we've done it. This is like the next Half-Life Alyx. This is we're here. We are. We're finally doing it. We're making AAA VR games. Or do you think they're well aware of exactly what they're putting out?
They know what they're putting out. I mean, I don't think they were. I mean, just how similar it is to the first one. Like, they just didn't go. They didn't take any risks, and like I said, it just was building upon the original and just making it pretty for this gen. Like, it's gonna sell well. I mean, it plays great across. We're talking about PSVR, but even playing on Quest, I haven't played PC version. It plays identically on the Quest. Obviously, there's a graphical downgrade, but the gameplay is 100% intact, which is impressive. And that includes like even the way the zombies ragdoll. Like, as far as I can tell, they ragdoll. And I remember that was a big. Remember with PSVR, the Arizona Sunshine, the first release. They had to remove the ragdoll physics for PSVR's release because it couldn't handle it, and they had to like pre-do like over 500 death animations. Like, so, but it wasn't ragdolling anymore, right? And now we're just seeing, as even Arizona Sunshine just figured out on the Quest 2 or 3, like they're putting that back into even tech that's more to power than the PS4 was. So, getting all sidetracked, they know what they released. This isn't Half-Life Alyx. I mean, there isn't like a massive physics engine behind this, or like it's a sequel to one of their one of those popular VR games ever made, and it delivers on its promises. It's just I wasn't expecting this thing to be like an open world adventure with 80 hours of content. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, right. The first game was 4 hours, if that.
Dude, it's been so long since I played Arizona Sunshine 1. It feels like a bigger game than 4 hours, but yeah, you're right. And honestly, like, again, I want to make sure everybody understands. Like, I don't think Arizona Sunshine 2 is a great game, but I definitely thought it was a fun game. I really hope, because I remember when they put out the Damned DLC for Arizona 1, and I was like, and it was, it wasn't too expensive. I mean, the Deadman DLC was garbage for like $2. Like, that was the worst fucking DLC I've ever played. It was unoptimized. They just reused all the same. I was like, why even bother? This isn't fun. But the Damned DLC like gave you a whole new location to explore. It actually felt scarier than the first game ever did. Like, there was some decent. I remember there being some decent storytelling. Like, it is. Miles, what are you doing? I don't know if you see this, but over on the official Upload VR stream, Miles Dyer's hanging out and shooting the shit with everybody. Miles, yeah. Why aren't you over here? This is your home. Come on, Miles.
He says hello without parole. Am I in the right chat here? Where am I on?
I don't know.
I'm on the Upload showcase here. He's there. Hello without parole. Oh, Mateo's in there. Oh, Polish is showing up.
Oh, here we go. Shit's finally starting. Here we go. Let's get this thing full screen.
This isn't loading.
The countdown literally just started.
Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button here.
Yeah,
hey, Ryan. I don't know how to YouTube.
This thing has weird borders on it. I'm trying to figure out where the hell this thing should be. Weird borders.
Two different feeds happening right now.
What's that? Yep, sirens on my end.
One day someone else will have sirens to compete with you. One day.
Oh, it's like a 2 minute countdown. Here, turn this down a little bit while I figure this shit out.
Oh, my IGN stream, that's why.
Oh, yeah, you gotta get to the official Upload stream.
Jesus.
Yep.
What is happening?
What up, Niles? Ryan, the Game Fuel with the $5 tip says, what game, in your all's opinion, is more worthy of $50 price tag? Arizona Sunshine 2 or Tales from the Galaxy's Edge? Honestly, I think Tales.
Yeah, probably go with Tales. Tales is satisfying, especially it's got some decent length. It's got some fun gameplay. It uses the PSVR haptics quite well.
Very well. Yep.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah. Both are good. I hate like bashing Arizona Sunshine like it's a bad game. Like, but I get it.
Yep. Definitely not a bad game. But deserving of a little bit of criticism, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
We got 55 seconds over here. Is that what you're seeing? I got 52, 51, 50. Are we synced up, Ryan?
Oh, I see. Let me just jack this quality up here a bit. Like, why can't I see the numbers?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going off my phone, but I have this thing. I'm at 50 right now.
I'm at 40.
49, 48. Okay, hold on. This is the worst part. Just do it, YouTube. I still have 43 now.
I get 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 18.
It's playing with me.
Wow, it's loud.
I'm down to 20 seconds. 17 seconds on my phone now. So with my phone for now.
Here we go.
New games, I'm so excited.
Yeah, man. This week was already going to be fun enough. Like, and now we have even more reason to celebrate. Good stuff.
They don't stop, man. Even the week after, we got like Towers and Powers and other releases. Something else is on the 15th too. Too many games.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, that's not PSVR though. Not for broadcast. I forgot about that one. Damn.
Wait, Five Nights at Freddy's totally PSVR.
Is it PSVR? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Put that in my notes.
All right, what? Am I not hearing sound? Suddenly not hearing sound anymore.
Nope, neither am I. Oh, I still got sound.
What the hell? Are you seeing Vertigo footage?
I am seeing Vertigo footage.
And you have sound.
It's quiet. It's super quiet.
Oh, it is.
It was
super
much
quiet.
louder during the countdown.
Yep, you're right. Super quiet. This is so typical of Upload. Their audio shit's all over the place all the time. I don't know who their editor is.
Yeah, right. They can scale these trailers and just assume they're all at the same audio level, and that's never the case, man.
It's so quiet.
It's very quiet.
All right. If this keeps up, I'm gonna have to blast this and then turn us down.
It's not. I guarantee you, after this little opener's open, it's gonna be super loud. You're gonna blow out the ears of all of our listeners. I said our listeners. Your listeners.
Ours, fine.
I don't need this. This is too far behind. Screw you, web browser.
All right, just have to see what happens after this opening trailer here.
Hello and welcome, friends and neighbors, to
so way behind on here.
Right. I'm going to blast this as much as I can.
Sponsored by Perp Games. This season,
still quiet.
we at Upload hope to warm your hearts with all new, never released
I'm cranked.
and game announcements. If you're watching at home, grab your hot cocoa and get comfy. If you're watching at work, maybe tilt your monitor so the boss won't see. If you're watching in VR, go high-five your nearest avatar because VR isn't dead and you're exactly where you need to be. Stay tuned after today's showcase for our Upload Showcase Live After Show, where Ian and myself, I'm Kyle, by the way, hi, we'll be showing a ton more trailers we couldn't fit into the main show and hosting a live discussion. We've got a huge lineup for you today, folks. Enjoy the show.
Wow. I just don't know what the fuck's going on. It's so quiet.
No, it's them.
Yeah. Here, I turned you down a little bit. Let me turn you back up. There we go.
How dare you?
I'm so sorry.
I asked you an important question. Is it hot chocolate or hot cocoa?
Oh, hot chocolate for sure.
Right?
What kind of posh place do you think we're living in?
Well, he just said hot cocoa. Grab your hot cocoa. I was like, who calls it that?
Yeah, British people.
He's not British though.
Maybe he's got a British girlfriend.
I mean, sure. All right.
I don't know.
All right.
Guys,
laundry simulator.
For girls.
It's not starting off great.
Yeah, well, it's good because maybe
Arcade Paradise.
Maybe we can find a way to boost the sound from over here.
I mean, you can crank it in OBS. If you go into the actual sound settings and crank that one feed, you can go to like 200. You can go to like 500%. Can't you?
Brand new Arcade Paradise that's built from
Arcade Paradise.
Coming soon on MetaQuest.
It's crazy how quiet it is, though.
Yeah.
The problem with I'm loud. Oh dang, loud Ryan.
Yeah.
Turn down Ryan a bit.
I have to keep turning things up and down to make things work. My bad.
We get some kind of Superman stride thing. Definitely looks like a App Lab game. No offense to App Lab.
Yeah, this looks bad.
This looks really early access. I don't know if I would have showed this trailer.
Hi everyone. I'm Oscar
Like,
Bergman.
this looks rough.
For that new look at
Project Demigod.
available on App Lab
Early access, that's for sure.
today, with a full launch planned early next year.
Yeah, dude. I really apologize to everybody in the chat.
I can't hear this guy talk.
I can't. Yeah, I can't either. What's going on, Upload? Every single goddamn time.
Everyone in their chat is just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Head over to our Discord to find out more and keep track of
It's gonna, you know it's going to come in
Your
so
long
hot.
shadow says new fundraiser to get Brian a sound mixing table for these streams. It's only Upload.
This is Uploads, man. Uploads chat is going crazy right now. Need subtitles. Epic fail. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, what a joke,
And
man.
then he'll talk over it. We can't hear him talk anyways.
This is-
Thanks, Fast Travel Games, for whatever you said. Hopefully it was good.
The HMS Amathea did not reach its destination.
yeah, this is.
We encountered turbulent seas and a mighty storm brought her down. Myself being
I'm doing the best I can for my end, but goddamn.
become
Oh, is this Bootstrap
stranded on a
Island?
godforsaken island with
That looks
few
like it.
supplies and little hope of ever living to see
These guys actually asked me to do a little feature for them this
the
month, but I've been so
environment
swamped I
would
kind of
be a true
forgot about it.
paradise. But there is a dreadful
And this is
consequence
PlayStation VR, as he said as well, right?
I
believe
don't
this
think
is
they've
for sure
officially
coming?
announced it, but yeah, it is coming to PSVR 2 at some point.
of embitterment.
I don't think we'll
thought
see
he did.
PSVR 2 logos at the end of this.
Ready to claim my mortal soul. I write this letter with a humble plea. Should you ever receive
Hopefully, Upload will fix this on their end at some point, and then we can
Man,
kind of rebalance
Chat is
everything
just
over
losing
here.
their minds over there.
Like,
Bet you all the guys over to IGN's channel are just losing their mind too. IGN, you're doing this wrong!
right?
I wish you a full and happy life. You shall forever be imprinted in my heart of hearts.
Yeah, I've got this boosted as much as I can in OBS even.
Get shipwrecked on
No, it's-
Bootstrap Island this February 22nd on Steam VR. Adapt quickly or perish.
Oh. Heard this guy talk. Oh, now it's quiet again. If you go to advanced audio properties, you can't jack up the volume on your desktop audio or whatever, however you're broadcasting that. Like you check your audio source. You hit the three buttons and go to advanced audio properties, and there's a active. You can change the dB and just keep cranking it.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I can throw a filter on it. I can throw a gain filter on it. Everybody sit tight. Cover your ears. I don't know if it's gonna go.
Get ready for a great meal.
I'll do some ASMR whispering about these games. I'm not, by the way.
All right. I think that boosted a little bit.
Brazen Blaze.
Oh shit! But now you're allowed to. That's all we need to do. Take care of you over here.
Good thing I'm not going to talk to you. I'll just talk a little bit so you can change that up for you. My sexual tones. What's going on, chat?
I can't hear you. This is
Ooh, what's this? Farpoint 2.
Immerse yourself in the alien lands of Astro Hunters on Steam, Pico, and Quest in 2024.
Astro Hunters. PlayStation VR 2.
I'm Trishka. No more ass grabbing. Guns are not the way to go here.
Apparently not coming to PSVR in 2024.
All right, I think we got it somewhat balanced a little bit. Unfortunately, Ryan, that means I can't quite hear you as much as I want to.
Dicks down.
But at least the stream will be able to hear. They'll be able to hear you and me, and hopefully the showcase. But I will sacrifice having good conversation in order for them to hear the
I can just make louder noises. I can just talk louder.
They can hear you fine. I can't hear you.
Oh, all right. Well, then I will talk normal volume. Loud noises. Are you excited for Bulletstorm? You got it.
機械政府が東京を廃墟に変えた。中枢である人工知能アダムはもともと真の世界平和を目的に作られた。そして神の機能を代行しようと考え出した。アダムが考える神の機能とは畏怖の対象、つまり圧倒的な恐怖だ。倫理計画の目的は救世主メシアの復活。その器があなたの肉体なのです。
お前は一人じゃない。握ったその手の中に俺がいる。
私のいないところで死んだら殺すからな。
次が最後の命令だ。生き残りなさい。
Coming soon is Soul Covenant, a futuristic fight-or-flight experience made by Third Verse.
Crazy. Oh, I know what this is. Brian can't hear me at all, I don't think. It's Into the Radius 2, guys.
Hey, buddy, you ready for an adventure? Sure you are. Good boy. Let's hit the road.
Every game needs a dog.
Drop into the post-apocalyptic horror of Convergence and wishlist the game on Steam VR before its launch in 2024.
Sweet, that's the Paradox of Hope guy who got hit with the copyright claim by a big studio. It's his new version of the game.
Oh, I love a bit of sightseeing. Looks intriguing. Hello there, little fellas. Whoa. I gather from Gromit you're something of a top tester. Now that's what I call a jammy shot. It's like a dream, lad. A lovely dream.
Nothing wrong with dogs, Chase. Nothing wrong with dogs.
Oh dear. Looks like someone messed up. I hope you have a plan.
Oh my god.
Meet the fence. Time to get busy. Make some fat stacks. Express your artistic side. Pimp that cell. Become everyone's favorite little chef. Get super rich. But keep those peepers peeled. Big Egg is cracking down on contraband.
This was really fun on PSVR 1. It's out on PSVR 2 now. I saw it pop up in the store this morning. No free upgrade for the PSVR 1 version.
Enough to become prison boss.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. I feel like 100 people bought it. It's like, how many copies do they really have to give away?
Yeah, right? I mean, same thing. I can't job sim anymore in my life. Escaping prison sounds like a job at this point.
To become the big man in the big house, it's going to take a lot of work. But you got to do what you got to do.
How have they screwed it up this bad? This is intolerable.
Yeah, their chat's still. I mean, they've eased up, but there's still complaints.
The chat's gonna have to transcribe what you're saying to me. Somebody in the chat.
Yeah, I know you can't hear me.
I barely like. So in the. I apologize. We'll get it fixed after the stream. We can talk about what we've seen. Man, I would have bet $100 that was Stranger Things.
Bye.
Hey, we are Winky Studio, a developer company of Survival Nation game, a survival RPG shooter, and today we come to you with exciting news. Since the game's release, we have been regularly releasing updates with the great help of our community. We are excited to show you how the game has developed, so let's get started. Starting with a full body IK, we've added more customization options for you to feel more represented, along with the option to see your body throughout the gameplay. Our next goal was to create a more diverse and immersive gunplay. The addition of weapon holsters, a new reload system, and new enemies such as armored zombies and spitters allow players to get creative during exploration, or simply roleplay as a meat grinder. Coming up next, we have one of the most requested features that came to life: day-night cycle and weather system. Stack up on some umbrellas because not every day is that sunny here. Small animals such as birds, squirrels, and many others brought more life into the player's surroundings. We have added VR interactions to almost all items in the game to enhance the player experience. Quite soon after the launch, we added a new game mode, PvP, which was improved over the year with dynamic events, airdrop, explosive barrels, and more. We also started to introduce seasonal events, the first of which was Halloween, warmly welcomed by the community.
Can you hear me, Brian?
And that's it from us.
Cannot.
Or is it?
This is going to be on PSVR 2 at some point.
This winter, experience the new map expansion for Wankley Studios' Survival Nation in all of its gory glory for Quest, Steam, and Pico.
This is that new Kluge game, the one-on-one fighting game. Hey Ryan, say something.
What's going on, Brian? How's it going?
All right, cool. Just making sure we could hear you now. Right.
This showcase was brought to you by our friends at Perp Games, with additional support from Wankley Studio, Drakhair VR, Timeless Hearts VR, Incuvo, Playism, and Combat Waffle Studios. Thank you as well to Fountain Games Studio, Impact Reality, and Events at Unity Farm. To learn more about our sponsors and check out their games, you can go to showcase.uploadvr.com.
I'm pretty sure IGN is actually streaming their own version of this. 'Cause they're way ahead of this.
The Pirate Queen is a true story based on a woman who started as a courtesan, who married a pirate, and then after his unfortunate demise, she took over and became the leader of this pirate
Oh, I played this.
We're asking the player to use their smarts effectively to try and work out what's going on, and that's what she had to do.
To come into this world and to visually feel it and to walk through it and to experience.
Yeah, my apologies to anybody who's just joined. This is the Upload VR stream is extremely quiet. We're doing our absolute best to make it audible over here.
They just apologized in their chat. Said they can't do anything about it.
Excellent.
Let's see how well you fare.
How have we done something about it, but they haven't?
Pirate Queen.
I think the Pirate Queen's supposed to be coming to PSVR 2 as well. I got a few emails about this a few months ago.
Meh.
I mean, that's nothing. I think Lucy lose the appeal.
Singer
here.
Studios presents The Pirate Queen,
a little bit of it
a unique narrative game voiced by actress and producer Lucy Liu.
Meh.
Sail the high seas in February 2024 on Steam and Quest.
I mean, I played a very early version, so I guess I should preface that.
The cats are gonna love this. A lot of drums rock fans over here for that Parole.
Simple plan.
The Simple Plan music pack can be found on Steam and PSVR 2 and is available now.
Every single bullet counts. The future depends on your aim. Can we count on you?
Military shooter in VR.
Oh, good. Zero Caliber 2, because, you know, we never even got the first one, X-Real. Thank you so much for
The
that.
future looks bleak, but one shot could change life as you know it in this coveted sequel from X-Real Games. Customize your artillery, Take out your enemies one by one and come out on top in 2024 with Zero Caliber 2.
At least they're not even trying to say PSVR 2 this time. I'm like just happier that way. Don't even fucking bother, actually.
Don't worry, it's coming, Brian. It's coming.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this is. How's this game called? Ghost of Tabor.
Yep.
Ghosts of Tabor is already available on App Lab and Steam, and die-hard fans, you know who you are, can expect an official MetaQuest launch coming their way in 2024.
We'll see PSVR 2 later in the year.
This showcase was brought to you by our friends at Perp Games, with additional support from Wankley Studio, Drakhair VR, Timeless Hearts VR, Incuvo, Playism, and Combat Waffle Studios. Thank you as well to Fountain Games Studio, Impact Reality, and Events at Unity Farm. To learn more about our sponsors and check out their games, you can go to showcase.uploadvr.com.
Are they just doing this every 3 minutes?
Seems like it.
Or is this really the
We've
end?
partnered with Humble Bundle again.
Because they keep saying
yes, those awesome people who give you a discounted bundle of games and donate a portion of the proceeds to charity. Sweet stuff. During the showcase, you can enter to win one of 10 Upload VR Winter Showcase bundles. This bundle has 7 premier VR titles, including Arizona Sunshine Deluxe Edition, Cooking Simulator VR, and Angry Birds VR. The contest is only open from, well, right now, until the end of the showcase. Go to showcase.uploadvr.com/humble bundle. Winners will be selected randomly from all entries this afternoon and given their codes by tomorrow at the latest. I promise. Seriously, I swear on Santa himself. If you miss out, don't worry. Everyone can still pick up this $15 bundle for a limited time. What's up next? I'm actually not sure. Let's watch together.
Here we go. Here's something we care about.
You're a bit ahead of me.
I bring you optimism from the future, Ryan.
Yeah, I've got a Quest and PC. I'm good over here.
Oh. Hell yeah, February 20th.
Nice.
This is funny. You know, this reminds me of the first time they ever showed off. Was it Google Glass? No, what was it? What was the Microsoft one where they were playing Minecraft on a table in like mixed reality?
Yep.
That's exactly what this looks like, except
I've been playing this, but I can't talk about it yet.
Oh, well then.
I mean, I'll say this: it is what you're seeing here.
Okay.
Calling all creatives, Thunderful Games wants you to build virtual worlds in mixed reality, brick by brick, like you're a god or something.
Crafts and comics.
Out tomorrow, but
Let's get this little guy out of that crummy pack. What could possibly go wrong? Time for some action. Look at him go. Whoosh. Choo-choo. This should do the trick. Ultimate power.
this is like a Yuki melee game.
Or is it a new beginning?
I don't think I've ever wanted a showcase to end sooner than I want this one to end.
The portal is opening. Let's see what's on the other side. Come on.
It's like,
show me what you've got. Now we're talking.
Don't be like that, Brian. It's new VR.
Listen, it's hard to watch from an audio perspective. I can't even have like decent conversations with you because of me trying to fix their audio. It's driving me up the fucking wall, honestly. But also because it's like yep, it's unfortunately exactly what we expected, and that's kind of sad.
It's what they do.
Hand tracking VR game, Ryan. Definitely what I was looking for.
That name sounds much more badass than what this is. For the record, like 90% of hand tracking games suck.
For the record, my thoughts were accurate.
This one looks like it sucks. Well, this just keeps going. Holy moly.
Drop your enemies with a quick flick of the wrist and
Looper,
cast
it's
them
not
out.
Rogue Ascent.
Feeling handy? Grab the festive Christmas update of Drakhair by the end of December 2023.
Oh, good.
That's ironic. I'm wearing a Discronia t-shirt. Can't see it. Remind me later. I have a funny story about these guys.
Oh, I can't wait. Also, I can't wait to get a copyright claim for this music.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
probably
it's
gonna
so
shut the
low though.
entire channel down.
Who here in chat has played this and liked this game? Just out of curiosity, like really liked it.
I have a hard time with these. They're not much fun. Tokyo Chronos was terrible, and this was mildly better.
I thought it was worse.
Wow.
Well, for a variety of reasons. It was more games than the last game, but they just balanced the gameplay so poorly.
Yeah, more game is what made me happier with it, but I mean, it's not like I finished it or anything. I finished Tokyo Chronos, and I wish I hadn't.
I finished it. I finished it with all the endings to boot.
I don't know what to say.
The Astro Ravager. Divine Duel. That's the game.
Again, for anyone just joining us, apologies for the out of control volume here. We're doing our best. This is on Upload side. If you try to watch their stream, apparently you can't even hear it. The chat is not happy with the quality of games shown at this showcase. I am with them for the most part.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, this is what happens when
Next
standalone
up,
dominates a
enter
market.
the Stranger Things-like world of the events at Unity Farm.
Okay, this is one I definitely want to see more of. Events at Unity Farm got announced for PSVR 2 a little while back. Happy to see this here.
Mm-hmm.
If I pull it west, do you think anyone will mind? Just kind of...
Yeah, Chase, that's true, and that sucks.
Professional Steam reviewer.
Unfortunately, I don't have that title yet. Sadly.
Professional Steam reviewer. I'm done, man. I'm fucking done. That's the funniest
The
shit
events
I've ever
at
seen.
Unity Farm Magic and Melee update is now
Professional
available
PlayStation
and
VR
on
2
sale
reviewer.
on Steam.
Man, I can't catch these announcers fast enough. I gotta pull the volume down because they're so goddamn loud compared to the rest of the shit. I can't catch it fast enough to pull down the volume. My apologies.
Ragnarok.
EDM and laser sabers? How about some axes? And call down the thunder with a whole album worth of original metal. Yeah! And licensed tracks from the Tiberian Sun. Earn the gold and platinum guitars and save the Metalverse in this free update for God of Riffs. Bring the storm. God of Riffs. Battle for the Metalverse.
Oh, God of Riffs, I knew that.
Soon. Oh, you're going. All right. Freaking rock stars.
Expect Viking skeletons galore as you make musical murder in God of Riffs.
We've got
Battle
17
for the
minutes
Metaverse,
left, Brian.
Coming January 30th on MetaQuest.
Our informant has discovered a new prototype.
I want to die.
Cybernetic weapon, codenamed Huvo Pro. Your mission is to recover this
Up next,
prototype
Lo-Fi.
and eliminate CEO Max Harrison.
Kills a bad guy, save the world.
Dude, I'd love to see Lo-Fi right now.
Let's rock. Here we go.
Like, is this a wave shooter? Is this a fucking wave shooter?
Tell. Classic like in action.
Look at those scars. I am an artiste. Sun's out, guns out. Bingo.
Looks like it. Looks like a stationary one too, or maybe teleport from location to location.
Yeah, dude. Like stationary wave shooters, like a genre that like should have died.
Co-op stationary wave shooters, Brian. That changes everything.
Yep. In all fairness, there are good ones, right? Crisis Brigade 1 and 2 were really good, and so like I don't want to shit on the entire genre, but Jesus, this is not a good look for VR. Period. People are saying, "Oh, I can't believe they're airing this on IGN." This is what people are going to think the state of VR is right now.
That's what I was going to chase about. I was like, yeah, this is not a good look for VR as a whole. If this is like the VR showcase, like, you know, for those that don't know better,
they should have called it an indie VR showcase.
Yeah.
Winter theme, check. New hats, check. Marker bot, let's go.
I mean, we can just talk through this, can't we? A little bit? I think so. I mean, even like every game on here is Quest, obviously, and that makes sense. But even as a Quest, like even as a casual Quest fan, like you can't sit here and be like, all right, like yes, like this is what I'm looking forward to. Like,
Yeah. This is like 2016 all over again. Like, but like worse.
Lost audio? Oh, there we go. Oops.
I see you. Now I have some time to work.
Oh, and I'm on sync. Damn it.
Hunt Together is available on MetaQuest and Steam on January 18th and can be added to your wishlist today. Enter the darkest depths of horror as you explore a haunted mansion full of vengeful ghosts and otherworldly beings in Carbon Studios' newest game.
Carbon Studios.
Did you say Carbon?
Yeah.
Like the Wizards?
Wizards. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, this is their new game. Mixed reality sports. Well, and you know why? Because right now mixed reality is all hot again because of Quest 3. I love how it showed dude playing outside. You're not supposed to go outside with your Quest, man.
Unless you want to get fucking mugged.
That too. They got past you. You can see it coming.
That's right. Playing mixed reality mode.
It's not the quality, Brian. It's the quantity.
Apparently. Oh. Is this mixture? What do you think this is?
I'm behind.
Oh, no. Probably not mixture.
It looks like mixture. Nope. Definitely not mixture. It's that Mars game, and it's getting a new release on Quest. Mars Alive. Just kidding.
I remember Mars Alive. There were so many bad Mars games on PSVR 1. There was like 4 terrible ones.
I actually backed that game on Kickstarter. Apparently my name is in the credits, but I could not ever get to the credits. I gave up so early.
Wow.
It sounded so cool on paper.
Yeah, sure did. A lot of things sound good on paper.
Yeah, right?
Live streaming this event sounded great on paper.
I can't even hear this one at all.
Whatever you do, don't die. In this next
in Grimm's
multiplayer
defense,
release,
I haven't been to Mars in
teamwork
VR
is
for at least 2
imperative
years.
for survival as you traverse an unforgiving landscape intent on your demise.
Look, Peachy, we found an actual human.
Mixed reality puzzles.
I have more cases that need solving, Detective.
Ten minutes, Brian.
Yeah, is that what we got left? We got 10 minutes until this is over?
Unless this is like a 90-minute thing. I'm pretty sure this was a 1-hour broadcast.
It feels like it's been 3 hours.
Now. I mean, just a solid 2. A solid 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 2 out of 10. What? Were we supposed to know who that was? Was that a person? Was that a... I mean, it was a person, but like, who the fuck was it? He was like, yeah, you know me. Walk away. It's like, what?
Les Mills dance. Well, that's hilarious.
Who the fuck was that?
It's probably someone from the Les... Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Atalanta to orbital
But
station.
that's weird.
I lost control. I'm crashing down, Echo.
Oh, it's mixed reality again?
I'm Atalanta. You'll have to help me find my ship.
Listen, pilot. The planet is bound to be hostile.
I've got notes to talk about after this thing.
Sweet.
Wow, what is that thing? I can't imagine causing so many deaths. It all began
But yeah,
with a
bottom
single
line here is
attitude.
this stuff just makes mixed reality like a gimmick all over again. Like,
Pilot, do something. It's
it brings
chasing
nothing
me.
to the game whatsoever.
I'm fortunate
It's just
to have
you're in
you
your
here.
room.
Look, something's happening.
Yeah, I wish I cared about mixed reality. I
Must
just
try
don't.
to save the
Like,
leader.
zero interest whatsoever.
It's the right choice. Isn't it?
I've played 1 or 2 cool things, which I'll talk about after, when we run the trailers. But yeah, no, it's still a gimmick. But thank Apple for all the attention to mixed reality once
Two
again.
realities collide in your own living room when you are face to
Apple's
face with the last hope for Demeter. And now for a special segment from our main sponsor, Perp Games.
Oh, thank fucking Christ.
The PSVR 2 has had an incredible first 10 months, and as well as digitally publishing, Perp Games is committed to keeping physical games alive. And that's why today we're excited.
Tennis on court, tennis on court, tennis on court.
In early 2024, including 4 new titles to the Perp physical collection, starting with one of the best looking games on the PSVR 2, Hubris.
Operation Serpents.
Right.
All right, folks, we are halfway through this show.
No.
Let's have a little break, shall we?
Halfway through?
Anyway, on with the show.
You know, it's funny. Oh, wait, let's get some talk here. Perp Games should be showing more trailers for their stuff.
Yeah.
Because all their stuff looks quality. Like, even just give us a Wanderer trailer. Just mix it up with something that looks decent. Not a sizzle reel. What's this? Oh.
Bro, this should have been a 1 hour showcase instead of a 2 hour showcase, and they should have cut down. They should have made most of this into a sizzle reel.
Well, I mean, sure, they should have, but this isn't. I mean, this isn't what they do, and it just seems like
explore the darkest
this is a prime example
corners
of,
of the
saying,
mind in Ananana's
we want more developers, we want more guys making
VR
VR games.
action horror.
This is kind of the result, though, is that, like, you know, Upload will at some point in time, Upload will make a 6-hour showcase for all the new VR games coming because they don't say no. It's just, yeah, we'll play it, we'll play it, we'll play it. And it'll be up to you to cover those 6-hour broadcasts, right, Brian?
You know what the funny thing is that I've been in touch with certain developers who are not bringing their game to Quest and said that they had a very difficult time getting channels like this to cover their games. And it's like, so they are 100% on the Quest train, and if you're not on the Quest train with them, they don't really have an interest in covering your game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they know their audience, and I'm not it.
Well, it's twofold as well. I mean, even the games being developed, like everything's still Quest. I mean, I've said on our podcast, but when developers are looking for funding for games, one of the first questions from publishers is it going to be a Quest game? Because if it's not, we're not going to fund your game. And so these developers are basically forced to make their games Quest compatible, and in doing so, probably sacrifice the quality of the original designs. Because if it's not on Quest, they won't get funding. Because I mean, you know, the Quest platform now is what? I mean, 15 million headsets strong, I guess, somewhere in there, not including Quest 1 anymore.
Yeah, there's no proof of that, but yeah, they certainly want you to believe that.
Mm-hmm. But even at 10 million, if you want to say 10 million versus 1 million PSVR 2 units, you just the money's still there, unfortunately, and it's not going to change until more people buy PSVR 2. But it's like people are going to buy them until the games come. It's this chicken egg thing of like what's going to happen first. But until anything changes, it's going to be all about standalone for the foreseeable future.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Isaac, that's just not true. Not 20 million. If it was 20 million, you know that Meta would be jumping up and down about it, making public statements about that. They'd much rather have you believe the speculation that's out there that is wildly inaccurate. That's why Meta themselves haven't said a goddamn thing, because they're like, well, the truth is way less than what people are saying, so let's just keep quiet. If it was 15 million, 10 million, they'd be jumping up and down telling you how many there are. There's not. You've all been brainwashed.
Check it out. He's Road to VR published that same article.
Yeah.
And the sources from like the chipset seller. Basically said that they've sold
this is
that
what
many
I'm
chips.
saying, man. Not 20 million. Not confirmed by jack shit. I don't believe any. Dude, I would immediately unfollow anyone saying it's 20 million because that's just a fucking outright lie. So ridiculous.
19 million.
People just believe everything these days.
I missed the last trailer. Holy moly, this looks so rough. Like I said, it feels like this is like 2016 all over again. I'll back that statement, man. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, these are exactly what we're getting in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's a long ass trailer for a bow game. Surprised that it's like shoot bows in VR. Grab apples. Tiny archers.
Greetings from Budapest. Hope you enjoy the show. Today, I'm delighted to announce an exciting partnership between our company Wonder Entertainment and Wonder Fitter, the creators of this truly outstanding smart bow.
The Artemis Smart Bow takes virtual archery and hand fitness to a whole new level thanks to its ergonomic design and perfect force feedback. Shooting a virtual arrow has never felt more lifelike.
I actually really like this, except that, like,
this complete redesigned
the hell are you going to use it?
Layers of
exactly.
Safety measures. Safe and it's also incredibly lightweight, weighing less than 1.5 pounds. That's 660 grams.
Works really good for this one archery wave shooter.
Yeah, right? Like, and as long as the shooter looks great, it looks boring AF.
Right.
Will provide full support for the Artemis from day one. So, see you on the battlefields and the leaderboards.
Artemis.
This is not going to go well.
No, that's that might be a worse idea than the 3D rudder.
No,
Life is all about personal growth, right?
Nothing's worse than that.
Pushing boundaries and trying new things.
Man, I back that.
even
so like,
if they scare you.
Such a good, like, not a good idea. It was an all right solution for the move problem.
Yeah,
but that lack of support just murdered it. And I've heard stories as to why that happened, but
I mean, I just didn't like having to sit down to play all these games while I was using two move controllers. I kept hitting my couch.
Yeah.
And anytime you find your limit, you can just note right out. Relax. Breathe deep. You have earned every slice of pineapple. And when you're ready for more personal growth, then jump right back in. You total psychotic!
looks like Suicide Guy.
Let's hope not.
See? That wasn't so bad, right?
This April, face your deepest, darkest fears head on in Nope Challenge by Happy Manic LLC, launching on the official Quest store.
All right, this has to be mixture, right?
I actually just turned it off. Yeah, this is mixture. I like mixture. I like this game quite a bit, actually.
Nice. I know very little about it. Even the trailer that I had on a Gamescast the other day was super outdated. This looks much better than what I think we saw then.
It's a really good Moss clone with its own little unique, like, alchemist features, they call them, or alchemy, but I like it. It's pretty damn fun.
I mean, the camera's dynamic though, right? Like it's moving along with the character. So it's not doing the Moss thing of just looking into a diorama.
No, it moves with the character. February 6th. I hope it gets a graphics upgrade. It wasn't the best looking game on the Quest. It was fine enough, but I hope they kind of bump up texture quality. Be nice.
Yeah, even that trailer looked a little basic.
Yeah, it did.
DCFC is in chat is asking what happened to Ven. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Ven drops on the store in the next 2 weeks or so. Like that is about to happen, and I don't know what they're waiting for, but it's about to happen very soon. I don't know if we're gonna get an announcement or if we're just gonna shadow drop, but Ven will be out very soon.
Shadow dropping is the trend now, it seems.
Apparently, it doesn't cost anything from a marketing perspective.
It's hard to keep track of it all. And this is here, and this is here, and this is here. Like, Jesus, okay.
Can we just watch the Shawshank Redemption instead? Like, is there something else we could be doing right now better with our time?
And listen, we can happily talk over these things.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Like, this is actually like shutting down brain cells one by one. It's like putting my whole body and brain to sleep.
Just once again, like, we saw the bike peripherals back when the PSVR 2 or PSVR first launched. Who's buying a bike for VR?
I don't know. There's people who think they've got this brilliant idea, and then sadly, it's gonna not go well because
Octonic's logo is just the Meta logo in a different angle.
Right.
Oh, Gazzlers! More Gazzlers, Brian!
Hey, listen, I really liked Gazzlers conceptually, and so they keep adding to it, and so I hope in a few months I come back to it and it's like just a better game overall with like more enemies and more environments and all that. But yeah, man, like it was a good idea that went nowhere.
It's almost backhanded compliment. I love the concept of this game. The practice of this game, however.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, listen, there's so many games where I get hyped for, and then you play it, you're like, God damn, another one. Actually, I'll go back to the hand tracking thing. I like the idea of hand tracking. It just doesn't work for every game. Like, you can't play a first-person shooter with just hand tracking. And I've played it. It's not great.
I don't want that.
But I played one called Silhouette. It's actually the worst reviewed, the least watched video on our channel. And you actually had to make shadow puppets with your hands, and it worked really good. It was really fun. You had to like make shadows to like make a little lemming guy move across the screen. It was really fun. Yeah, no one gave a crap about that game.
That actually sounds like the only interesting hand tracking game I've ever heard of, and I never heard of it until literally just now when you explained it to me.
It was really, I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit janky, but it was just a really good use of the medium that I didn't feel like I was being held back. But yeah, like I said, least watched video on our channel.
Wow.
What is this?
Is this Paint the Town Red? Is that what this is? Supposedly this is actually a really good game on the flat screen, if this is the right game. I think this is. This is supposedly a really good game on the flat screen, and it just doesn't look good. I don't think it's easy to sell with a trailer, so we're going to find out if this is actually any good when it comes to PSVR 2. I don't even know when.
Maybe we'll find out. Move over, drunken bar fight.
Oh, March 14th. We got a date. All right.
I told you. God, I hate how far ahead of you are.
You may not be the hero that anyone was looking for, but you become the hero that everyone needs in this sweet as pie VR adventure from Fresh Dough.
Oh, this is the way I just played. Cookie Run. This will be part 2.
Hi.
Chapter 1. Woohoo!
Projector director of the Cookie Run Darkest Night. And
Dude, I'll have my review for this chapter 1 tomorrow. Like, this game came out a week ago.
From our studio, Fresh Dough and Dev Sisters. From a genre perspective, we want players to have as much fun as those adventures.
It's not a bad game. It's actually kind of, it uses VR well, surprisingly.
We create more than just a one-off experience. The potential of VR games drove our passion to create an amazing adventure. Focusing on the game's depth, our goal was to achieve.
It's really expensive though for what it is.
Sorry, it trains on my end.
Of fun and unique experiences.
Guys, if you're not already subscribed to Ryan over at the VR Grid, I didn't do a good job of having that ready to go today. So make sure you click the link in the chat and go subscribe to him over there if you're curious about hearing more about any of the games that he's reviewing. that was a bad way to promote your channel. I'm sorry.
No worries. Like I said, this will be my next review. I have the review half done. I've just been trying to put together my side-by-side footage for Arizona Sunshine and trying to get Vertigo out of the way and Lego Brick Breaker. And it's too busy right now in December. Like I'm not sure why December is the dumping ground for VR releases.
And look at yourself.
Slow it down, guys.
In various situations that help you understand your context. In most VR adventure games, you're alone in difficult situations and face countless enemies without help. However, in Cookie Run VR, as you play, you will meet more companion cookies.
This looks like strangely endearing, like kind of cute. Like I don't think I like the idea of a candy cane weapon, but I feel like I would play this.
You get swords and stuff later on fairly quickly. Like it's like I said, I see it's very lighthearted. It does feel like a bit towards like kids, but it's not totally kiddie. But it has like kind of like that like N64 Zelda charm, if you want to like kind of describe like something. But it's much more of an arcade adventure kind of thing. But it works and it uses VR like really well. Like you are interacting with lots of things, grabbing at things, and and it looks good. Like, you know, the smaller scale world like Moss, like you're just a little gingerbread cookie in like these giant houses. It's done well. Like I said, I was impressed by it. It's not a great game, but it's entertaining.
Yep. Like I said,
it's just too expensive.
Oh, too expensive? What's it going for?
It's $25 American, but I beat the game in 3 hours, and it's only chapter 1. And they said chapters 2 and 3 will be less than half the cost of the first chapter, but the first chapter is probably worth half that cost as it is. Like it's, you know, and it sucks. I think they have something here. I just think the asking price for this is too high that people are just going to say no to it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, certainly. Like, what was Propagation? Like 4 hours, and that was $20, and like just super polished from start to finish. So like, I don't know. Like, if something's like super polished, I don't mind paying a few extra bucks for it. But you know, it doesn't sound like this is Propagation level.
Up next,
no, like
is
if
an
this is
exclusive
like
upload
$50,
VR
I'd
premiere
say it's
featuring
probably
a
worth
lot
picking
of
up.
snow and even more
but
undead.
$25 is just it's a lot for an average kind of game. I don't know. It's hard to. I like it, but it's got issues. Look at those blades of grass. $12 hours, Vince? Holy moly.
I know, I saw that.
Beyond Frames Entertainment and Combat Waffle Studios dares you to enter Silent North, where every misstep means trouble. Out for both App Lab and Steam soon.
Combat Waffle's making a third game? They haven't even completely gotten their first game out. Yeah, do 12 hours to complete everything in propagation. That's a good value. I did not find all of the little what were they, penguins? I didn't find all those.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's certainly more for me to do, but I feel like I could have done it all in 6, just to guess. I didn't play it again on the hardest difficulty though, so I guess I should have done that.
I do. I typically play through on medium, and then I rarely go back to the game after that, just because of time mostly.
Yeah, it's all because of time. I definitely start on whatever the default is, and then I try to check out the hardest difficulty just for review purposes, like just for 20, 30 minutes, like what's different here. But it's generally not much. Just die easier.
Is this coming out for PSVR in like 2 weeks, or just...
Well, shiver me timbers. This next update from Fountain Games Studio will have you searching for booty and feeding your enemies to the fishes.
I feel like I'm about to wake up and be like, dude, I just had the fucking worst nightmare.
Oh god! It's still happening!
Then I wake up again. I'm like, oh jeez, thank God.
Oh, another archery game. Yeah!
I wonder if you can use the bow accessory for the slingshot.
I wonder how much. I want to know how much that thing is, man. Like, how much are they selling this thing that works right now with one game?
Right.
I mean, I know. I guess like Farpoint, the aim controller was kind of the same deal, but it had 2 games at launch because it had Dick Wild as well. But yeah,
batten down the hatches because the newest
well, it's funny.
chapter
I mean, like,
of
obviously,
Reddit comes to App
we're a bit
Lab
more jaded,
and
I guess.
Steam
but,
VR
like,
January
I'm
11th.
still sick of archery in VR. Like I played so many archery games. Like back in the day that it's the same thing. I can't play anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we started right off the bat with like Apex Construct. Then we had Quiver. I mean, it was just every game was either you were shooting guns or you were shooting crossbows, or not crossbows, even bow and arrows. In death, even. Jesus.
That's so funny. I'm actually like forgetting to pay attention to the trailers now. Oh right, we're watching a trailer showcase.
I've stopped taking notes. I've stopped paying attention. All I can do is kind of sigh at the first 5 seconds of each trailer. And I go, oh Jesus, another game like this. Oh no. What are you doing to VR? You're slowly killing it.
Like I said, I mean, just like I said, the idea, it's different for us, obviously, like we know, but like I said, if you were watching IGN right now and you've been watching this showcase for 1 hour and 15 minutes, like I'm not getting a VR this Christmas. F that.
Right. Exactly.
Like this is what's happening in the VR space right now. Like count me out. And how could I even argue that? Like no, guys, wait. You just gotta wait for like, I know this is like like 100 games that are coming out, but trust me, the other 20 over here, they're much better. Like it's
right. No, absolutely.
Because our count right now is up to what? What are we at here? Jesus. 15, 30. And we're pushing 50 games right now.
Jesus. Yep.
Alright, fuck. I'm gonna talk about mixed reality here. Yeah, mixed reality, man. Like, socially, it makes sense. Like, having someone in your room, kind of thing, or like in your space, it's kind of cool. But these games that are like promising mixed reality, and it's literally just putting a game board in your living room. What does that do? It does nothing for you. The exception to that being, I can't remember the name of the game on Quest, but it actually scans your living room and actually like registers your couches and tables, and then the things you're shooting will actually bounce off your stuff in your living room. So it creates an actual interactive space. But outside of that, if you're just laying down the Demio board on your coffee table in your living room in a VR headset with lower, like it's
set to launch in late
sure it's mixed reality, but why? Like why is it mixed reality? If the only answer is because, then it doesn't count. You're just using pass-through for no reason. And that's my issue with mixed reality. Because all these games, every mixed reality game we've seen during this thing right now has done nothing more than just throw a game in front of you and you're in your living room. They're two separate things entirely.
Right, it's like,
and
look,
what's the point?
Look what we can do. This is cool. Look what we can do, right? But when I get into VR, the last thing I want to do is see around the game my messy apartment. Like I want to escape my messy apartment and then feel bad about my messy apartment when I take the headset off. Not be constantly reminded that maybe I should be cleaning my apartment while playing a game, right? Like let me escape from this reality. Don't mix in your reality with mine. I don't care about mine. Mine's not that great, or I would be putting this headset on to begin with. Like, let's get away from that shit. There's a market for it. There are people who love it. It's just not me.
Terra Alia is already available
it's just
to play
not why you sell
on
a
the
headset.
official
It's
Quest
just
store.
not like if I'm
Come
going to sell
back in
you
a few
VR
months
headset,
to
it's
pick
not
up
because
the
of mixed reality.
multiplayer
'Cause like I said,
DLC.
it looks cool, like at first glance, because like but like in practice it just fails like almost every time.
Here you'll find all new 100% unique escape rooms, like the game room, the deep sea.
What do we got here?
Wait, that's just the employee lounge?
VR puzzle game.
Moving on. We've handcrafted a whole slew of puzzles to take you on an adventure that's to die for. Just kidding. You're totally safe. I'm not kidding about the puzzles, though. There are plenty of those to solve. Of course, while you're having fun, please be responsible. After all, we wouldn't want anything bad to happen. Like that. Ready to escape some rooms?
There's not enough coffee in the world right now.
I feel like I should be entertaining you more.
Nope.
Grab 7 awesome VR
You didn't know what you signed up for when I asked you to do this. You didn't know it was gonna be a 2-hour stream.
I told you I have things I need to catch up for. I have things I need to get done, Brian, and now you're holding me up here. I have games to play that I'm not playing right now.
Dude, same. Upload VR is ruining my week.
Thanks, Perp Games, for sponsoring this trash.
Yeah, I mean, for real, thank God Perp's here, because it's the only representation of not only good VR, but also PSVR 2 that we've gotten, I think.
And we're not even seeing it. I don't understand how they're sponsoring this thing and not showing any Perp games. Like, we saw Madison so far. And I guess it opened with Vertigo, I guess, in the opening. But outside of that, I mean, I guess we saw Discronia. I think it's a Perp game as well. But, yeah, man, show us, like, Wanderer. Like...
Yeah, dude, can you imagine if they just show like 5 minutes of Vertigo 2 after this and just be like, you know, mic drop moment. It's like, this is the difference between what's happening here and what's happening there. Done.
You should always organize it like that. Here's App Lab, main store, PlayStation VR 2. We'll just watch the quality slowly increase. Have we had any card battlers in VR? Like Demio doesn't count. Like a full-on, like actual, like card battling sim. Because man, does that sound awful.
Join the Timeless Heart VR journey by wishlisting the game on MetaQuest, Steam VR, and PSVR 2 today.
Rax, bro, it'd be awesome to see Behemoth, but I mean, that game got pushed back to what, end of 2024, I think, or something like that?
Yeah.
So we're not going to see anything from that game. I mean, remember when Aliens VR was a thing? Remember when that was going to be announced like a year and a half ago?
Dude, I would totally bet a pizza that that Survios realized that like the game they were making wasn't the one that everybody wanted. Like that Aliens VR, they like everybody wanted Alien Isolation VR, and here they are. They're just going to bring like this action shooter game with a horror slant to VR, and that's like not what anybody wanted. Everybody wants Alien Isolation. I guarantee you, they went back to the drawing board. Otherwise, we would have seen that game a fucking year ago.
But the thing is that game's supposed to be flat as well. It's not just a VR game. It's
right.
Also right, and so that's where I'm very curious about what they're making, because the fact that it's going to be in and out of VR, like Survios has never done that before. Like I don't know if they're the studio to do that, especially considering their last few releases. Nothing bad, but just you talk about Puzzle Bobble and Walking Dead and the ship one, which I'm forgetting now. But the last, they're just very
Battlewake, yeah.
Battlewake. I mean, all fun in their own right, but nothing mind blowing, and nothing that it's like this for a studio that started off so strong as far as VR goes, to then kind of watch them play it safe again and again and again. It was unfortunate, and then to take on this franchise, this huge franchise, and make a flat game as well, and promising like a AAA experience. Like, good on you for Survios for saying yes to that, but man, I hope you can deliver. Because
enjoy a new way to experience this science fiction franchise with Mobile Suit Gundam Silver Phantom
for Survios, just because,
Yeah, dude. Right,
not that every Alien game's been amazing or nothing like that outside of VR, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, when they started off with Raw Data and Sprint Vector, we were like, these are the guys to watch. Like, this is the studio that's going to propel VR forward. And then it all kind of went downhill from there.
What do you mean
like,
by that?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly, like, give Electronauts a lot of credit. You can give Creed a lot of credit. I was like, but man, like, just overall, the quality went down big time. Who said, somebody in the chat said, didn't they, yeah, Albert said, didn't they create a 2D Creed game? They did. And apparently it was terrible.
Yeah, I heard it was awful.
So they were just, milking the license, it seems like.
Yeah, I wonder if there was like obligations, like, if, you get the license, but there's like a deal. Yeah, you got to make a VR game, but you got to make a flat game too, or a mobile game. All right, sure.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, I mean, like the idea behind the Alien game is great because, we need to see more, hybrid games. I don't even know why we use that term anymore because it barely applies to what we're getting. But,
We totally just talked over like probably the best game in the show, by the way. The Burst is it looks so good. And I'll be so much happier once they announce it for PSVR 2.
Oh, I apologize, guys.
What do we got here?
One lone soul to another.
This looks exactly what I thought it was. All right.
Why are we seeing this? Oh, it's the it's the Quest 3 update?
Quest 3 update, yep.
Do as you are told, or you are dead.
That's very colorful, I'll say that. They added color to it.
It also doesn't say record on Quest 3 at the bottom or anything, so...
Right. Although it's got to be, because PSVR 2 version looks stunning by comparison to this, and so it's obviously not the PC VR version. I would say it's probably... We're definitely seeing the Quest 3 version here, but it's like... Looks good.
I always worry if it's one of those like recorded in engine kind of things.
I got you.
It is the Quest 3 build, but it's on a PC. 16. Well, that's exciting because, yeah, that's exciting for Quest 3 owners anyway.
Yeah, hopefully it has way fewer bugs than the Quest 2 version had. Jesus, that was rough.
Yeah, it was messy.
Again. And today we've got exclusive news to share with you. First, let's talk about our rhythm game, Ragnarok. A new artist is joining the Viking adventure, and you may already know him, especially if you are...
It's obviously the wanted dev section here. Hopefully they, after Ragnarok, show whatever else they're going to show.
Yeah, the next DLC will be dedicated to the very talented Jonathan Young, and will be available on December 14 on all major VR platforms and PC. This is the perfect opportunity to tell you guys that the studio has also been working on a new game. Here is a first look just for you.
Battle for water has been going on for centuries. The desert stands witness to the destiny of countless tribes. The elusive embrace of peace remains a distant mirage. The desert winds carry the whispers of strife, guiding the chosen ones to unveil the power within the vestiges.
Okay. I guess that's the new game.
Vestiges Fallen Tribes is
Looks like a tabletop thing?
Mixed with an autobat.
Be great for mixed reality.
Tribal science fiction universe.
Sadly, I'm sure it will be.
Where water has become rare. Lead your clan and face your opponents in
Strategy card game. Womp womp.
Make the right
Hey, I like card games.
and place your
I
soldiers on
can't
the battlefield
stand
so that they take
card
over the
games.
enemy.
Wow.
Because
Like the card battlers where you'd like the Magic the Gathering, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Never my jam. I despise them.
I don't look forward to them when they come out, but every so often a good one comes out and you're like, oh, I'll check that out. Like Inscription looks awesome, honestly.
See you soon.
I'll have to take your word for it. I hate him.
Were you not a Demio fan?
Yeah, but I don't count Demio as a card battle. Like with full. This one looks like the idea of like a me
Rock
versus
out
you,
with
like
your
throwing down cards
dual-wielding
and then
hammers
watching our
out
players,
in
fight each other.
Ragnarok this December
appalling,
14th
Ryan.
on
Appalling.
Quest, Steam, Pico, and PSVR 2.
That's the first time they've said PSVR 2 this whole fucking showcase. No, I know it's not the first time, but man, it feels like PSVR 2 is just being ignored here. And don't get me wrong, these are such small indie developers that like their chance of getting these games on PSVR 2 is pretty low, right? It takes a long time to get through that QA process to port it over. Like, I don't think most of these games are going to make it over. But
And that's fine.
yeah, I mean, today has today they're proving that not every game needs to come everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. I almost feel bad. Like some of these games just look so not great. Or
hey, this one's coming to PSVR 2 too. Oh, great!
Shut up. Boomerangy. That look. I mean, I was just looking at that trailer and thinking that looks awful. Boomerangy.
Yep.
I don't even know what it is. It looks like a social thing. I don't even know what they showed me there.
Yeah, I always try to stay positive during these things. Like I really do. And then I think once we realize we're only halfway through, I think that's when
we're close to being done now.
Yeah. Well, halfway through is when it broke me. And I was like, this. I can't remain positive anymore. I am done.
They're making this into mixed reality now.
Also, love to be just to make sure that we're all on the same page. I'd love to be proven wrong with a lot of these games. Be like, no, it actually turned out to be really good. This is actually a great game. You're gonna love it. Maybe not the best looking thing, but it plays really well and it's fun. It's addictive. Blah blah blah. The whole thing, like, So I really hope I'm proven wrong on many of these titles, so that we can, appreciate them for what they are.
Okay, so I mean, and I'm obviously of the same mindset. I don't want any game to fail, obviously, and I would love to. I want to play fun games, obviously. It just comes back down to that expectation. Obviously, as a PSVR 2 channel, especially, like you want to see your headset being used to its maximum capabilities. You want to see the power of the PS5 on display in your headset, and almost nothing the showcase has given us that. So of course you're gonna be a little bit, let down. And obviously there's a place for these indie games for sure. But it's just the idea of like indie after indie after indie after indie, and it's that indie is even the wrong term for what I'm trying to describe. It's just these lower budget games that just don't look that great. And VR can make things look better in the headset. They can also make things look worse in the headset. So when we're watching so much mediocrity, it can't help but feel like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, am I going to care about this game when it launches 6 months from now? I doubt it. And then when every single game is kind of that same general vibe, like it's fatiguing. It's like it's no different than like the state of the movie industry right now. When every time you see a movie trailer, you're like, oh great, like another one. Like we're at this weird point in VR where we should be like leveling up, and instead we're going back to how it was 7 years ago. and I understand why, but it just seems like now we shouldn't be in this loop. We should be seeing more large titles coming to PSVR 2. I mean, especially if, assuming it sold even 1 million headsets, which I think was the rough estimate, if not more. We don't know the number, but it's selling faster than the PSVR 1 did, but in that same time frame. And you just hope it gains traction. You just hope like eventually like the PSVR 2 just gets traction where developers or publishers are just starting to pay attention and not just ignore the headset until, whatever like magic happens. Like hopefully RE4 is going to bring, it's going to sell some headsets.
Yep, I hope so. Yeah, this is, I mean, this is, like you said, this has been the problem with VR since the onset, is that we've had, we've seen what PSVR 1 could do. We've seen what all sorts of, hold on a second. We've seen what this technology is capable of, and then we go upwards of a year without seeing that same level of quality again, right? And so I think, as far as I'm concerned, I love having these indie games as sort of filler between my big AAA releases or even single A releases. But when you're not getting those single A or AAA releases, and then this becomes your entire VR experience, like it just wears on you. You're like I want to love everything, but when this is all you're getting, these are supposed to be the filler games, not the games.
Yeah.
And I just hopefully PSVR 2 will start changing that a little bit. Like with PlayStation's paying Capcom to bring over Resident Evil 7 initially on PSVR 1, Village, PSVR 2, RE4 remake. Like hopefully they'll keep doing that with other developers and say, hey, here's $10 million, bring over BioShock. Here's $10 million, bring over whatever. Just something to kind of mix up all these indie releases with some AAA stuff.
Yeah, and also the same thing too is to like justify the cost of the headset. Like PSVR 2, it's not a cheap headset, especially when you factor in the cost of a PSVR or a PS5. So you want to have that justified. And obviously we have the great games that we have now, but like I said, there needs to be a balance between these indie games and the next AAA game. Because like I said, like RE4 is going to carry some guys for the next few weeks through Christmas. That's their jam. It's just like I'm playing that. That's it. And of course that makes perfect sense. But then it's like, what's after that? And if you don't see anything on the horizon, it just gets a little bit disheartening. And obviously, we talked last time on the Gamescast just about Sony's total lack of communication on all fronts.
Exactly.
But it's this unknown of just like what did I buy? Like some people I spent $1,000 on a PSVR or a PS5 and a PSVR 2, and what am I getting, in a few months? Well, we don't really know, or at least, or it's stuff like this where it's like, well, that isn't good enough.
Yeah. Honestly, I hate to put it this way, but just because of the way that the discourse has gone over the last 9 months since PSVR 2 came out, 10 months, we're getting close to the 10-month mark. I honestly think that Gran Turismo 7 should have been there at launch, right? Or no, not even. Maybe have Village there at launch, and then say, hey, in 4 months we're going to have Gran Turismo, and then say, hey, in 4 months we're going to have Horizon Call of the Mountain, then say, hey, in 4 months we're going to have Resident Evil 4 VR. Like, and just kind of like if they didn't front load everything, then people would have been like, oh wow, look at this roadmap, look, they're constantly delivering these AAA experiences throughout the course of a year or a year and a half or whatever, and instead they kind of just drop them all unceremoniously, and then people go, oh well, it's another Vita. They supported it at day one, but then they haven't supported it since, right? So if they just thought about it a little bit more and been like, spread the shit out, it would have been great.
I definitely agree with that statement, especially now. Like you're definitely seeing like a general shift in tone just on socials where people are starting to like hate on the headset again. Like for the first few months, it's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about.
Back into the game with Walkabout Mini Golf on Quest, PSVR 2, Steam, and Pico on December 7th.
And you're starting to see people turn a little bit on the headset. I mean, and there's still plenty of defenders. And like I say, it's only been 10 months. Like there's two sides to this coin. It's been 10 months. It's only been 10 months. I mean, but you're definitely seeing a shift right now. But like I said, once RE4 comes out, everyone will shut up again. And then, come March, it'll be like, well, nothing's coming out. And then, like.
Well, and I'll say, yeah, you've got a leg to stand on if Sony has another showcase or a state of play and doesn't Here we go. Co-op mode for Green Hell
The
coming in
spirits of
2024.
Amazonia will
That's cool.
captivate you, but don't let your guard down. In 2024, jump into the jungle on MetaQuest and PSVR.
I got a graphics update with this last patch, but man, it's sharper now, but then it killed the frame rate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't played the PS2 version. I played it on Steam and Quest, I guess. Ooh, cat butts in VR.
Yeah, no, like I said though, like if the next if the next Sony showcase or next Sony State of Play doesn't have a new big AAA or even single A PSVR 2 game for us to look forward to, I'll say yeah, these people have like a reason to complain. Like we always need that next thing on the horizon, and Sony's not been very good about that. Even on the PlayStation 5 side of things. So. Hopefully they start talking a little bit more, and all these 30 plus internally developed games start getting talked about.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. You can't rely on third party. I guess Wanderer would be the most impressive, visually impressive game coming out in Madison as well, I guess. But as far as like a showcase VR title, but the problem with Wanderer is it's still a remake. There's still some asterisks on that game. Like I've already played Wanderer, and obviously this is a bigger, better version of that game. But for some people, like diving back into a game you've already played once before, especially a puzzle game, you know, we've changed the puzzles, we've added things. There's still, it's like sure, but you know, like I'm not stoked for Wanderer, or the what's it called? Whatever the
Fragments of Fate.
Fragrance of Fate. Thank you. Like it looks cool. It looks 10 times better, but I've already played this game, and you know, I didn't play it that long ago either, and it looked great. You know, even back then, it wasn't great, but it looked really good. Oh dear. So I don't know.
Adam Luke in the chat says, when can Brian say anything about Vertigo 2? As we said earlier in the stream, the embargo for that lifts on Friday, same day as Resident Evil 4 comes out. So it's going to be an exciting day. We'll actually be able to tell you about our first impressions about Vertigo 2.
That was great.
And then we'll be able to talk
Stay
about...
Stay tuned after today's showcase.
We'll talk about Resident Evil that day, too. It's going to be a crazy day on Friday.
Where Ian and myself will be showing a ton more trailers we couldn't fit into the main show, and hosting a live discussion.
Did you hear what they just said?
To our main
the after show?
The after show where we couldn't fit all the trailers we wanted to put in this. What?
Uploadvr.com or clicking the link in
like there was some kind of time constraint?
Check out Humble Bundles.
There obviously wasn't. They just shoved everything into this fucking thing.
We know what happened is that basically they made this thing, and then they got more trailers that they couldn't fit into the final edited product.
Cooking
They're just like,
Simulator
okay,
VR,
we'll just
the break
put you in the after show there.
More, while supporting Build-On's fight against poverty.
All right.
Grab it at humblebundle.com before it's gone. Special thanks to our supporting
All right, is this really it? Because if it is, then I can start putting all of our sound levels back where they belong.
Hearts VR, Incuvo, Playism, and Combat Waffle Studios for
they're
helping
sponsors
us
for the
bring you
17th
this
time.
showcase. For a recap of everything announced today, go to showcase.uploadvr.com and check out our Everything Announced article. Thank you to everyone watching, and thank you to all the people who applied to participate. We'll see you next June at the Summer 2024 Showcase.
See you next June at
That's
the
it
summer.
for
No,
today,
you
folks.
fucking won't upload.
Stay
We learned
frosty.
our goddamn lesson. Goodbye. Okay, hold on a second. Let me fix this shit. Holy crap. We're going to get your voice fixed here, man. So I don't think they can hear you right now, but they will in just a second. All right. So whoa. Geez, sorry.
Oh, am I too loud here? I can just
hold on. Just give me 1 second. I'm fixing it on my end because I got to. All right. Say something.
What's going on, Brian?
All right. We're
How's
really
it going?
pretty damn close. That's way better than we just had it. All right. Cool. Holy shit,
60
dude.
games, Brian. That was almost 60 games.
That was like 2 hours of our time gone.
How many games from that 60 do you remember off the top of your head that you're like, I'm excited for that one?
Green Hell co-op. Because that was near the end, and so it's fresh in my mind.
That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, hold on a second. I mean, I actually wrote shit. Madison coming out February 20th. Honestly, I wish, for all the times that they had shown their, for their sponsors and be like, thank you to Incubo and Perp Games and this people and those people. Never heard of this person. Like, I wish that they just had re-shown that perp segment a few times, because at least with that they were like saying, hey, here are all these games coming out physically on this day, physically on that day. I mean, it was the sizzle reel that should have been the entire show, right?
Yeah,
and instead they blast through all the good stuff in about 12 seconds, and then we sit here for minutes on end watching individual trailers of games that nobody cares about, and we blasted through all the cool stuff. And so, I mean, what I want to do is go back and see that perp segment and check all those dates and see when those games are coming out. And because I can't believe that Madison is really the only game that got its own segment. And even that didn't show like new gameplay. We just got a release date that we've been waiting on. What was it? February 20th? No, March 20th, March 14th. I'm just making shit up there. I don't even know.
Keep saying dates.
Yeah. February 20th. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
And then dude, it's so crazy. Like, this we saw. What was the Bulletstorm thing that started the show off? Because I was still trying to fix audio issues at that point, and I think
it's coming. It didn't really show anything. It was just Bulletstorm. It just wasn't. Didn't show anything crazy. I couldn't tell which version they were showing. I'm sure it's probably the PC PSVR 2 version, but it didn't. It was a very quick trailer.
I think I saw, unless he was totally trolling me, I think I saw Dan in the chat say that they were bringing 2 new levels to Bulletstorm, and I was like,
I missed that.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was actually happening or not. Again, everybody who was here the whole time, my apologies for trying to deal with those audio issues on the fly. Everything that was coming from Upload side was just so quiet that no one could hear it. I can't believe they couldn't fix that during the show.
Yeah, right. They just like stop and restart it. Like,
yeah. Oh,
no,
absolutely.
we'll just play the whole thing with no audio. That's fine.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Like if I was the guy who submitted my trailer for this thing, I'd be like, oh man, like, like some of those guys that were talking, that were actually just talking about their game and their stupid bow and arrows. You couldn't hear them like talk. Like,
right.
It was just like I'd be choked.
Yep. Oh yeah, dude. If I don't know if they paid money for this or how the whole sponsorship went down, but like, dude, I'd be fucking mad. Especially some of those indie games that, as I said, I didn't care about. But this is like really the only exposure some of those indie studios are ever going to get for their games. Like this is the best they were going to get. And I don't know how much they paid to get in, but they should get their fucking money back, because that was an embarrassment. From a technical standpoint, it was an embarrassment. And on top of it, like they were just smushed together between a ton of other games that like no one really cared about. What I like to do on PSVR this week every week is take a couple indie games, like really small games that are not going to get any exposure, like Toy Trains. I threw that into and what else was it? Oh god, I can't remember the other one. But I put him in like, on PSVR this week, because I know that it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to see. And so then like you're watching these trailers for bigger budget games, and then you also, while you're at it, you see a little bit of this indie stuff that you probably wouldn't care about, but then might pique your interest. There's an art to this, and I'm not giving myself a pat on the back here, because I know I don't do it perfectly every time. But man, this was just not the way to do it.
No, it feels. I mean, it feels like a dumping ground for a trailer. It's like, well, no one else will show us, so let's just show it on the Upload showcase, because they'll show anything. And
right.
Every place, like every game deserves its little slot, but at the same time, like break this up, or like there has to be a better way to do this than just 2 hours of mediocrity. I'm trying to find the right works. Like I said, I haven't played any of these games, so I can't say if they're good or bad. All I can just, based upon what I've watched here, it's just like, sure, nothing here is exciting though. I mean, we didn't see any, outside of what the stupid sequel game that we PSVR did, the military shooter one. My brain's eluding me there.
Wait, which military shooter one?
The one that was supposed to come to PSVR and they never did.
And
then
yeah.
Zero Caliber 2, right? But like we're still, how many, even this 2-hour showcase, I'll come back, I made this point before, but like how many first person shooters do we see? Like campaign first person shooters.
I mean,
right?
yeah.
It's this whole like everything. The whole industry, it seems like, is so focused on casual games to invite like mothers into the VR, and it's missing the point of VR. Like it's and mixed reality too. Like, oh, it's in mixed reality. I've already bitched about this before, but like it's mixed reality is like a novelty that'll get someone in the door. Someone who's like walking past and seeing that mixed reality thing on TV might be like, "Ooh, that's kind of neat." But that's not the reason why you buy VR. It's not the reason why you buy a Quest. I know PlayStation VR 2 is going to be doing some mixed reality stuff in the future. It sounds like, I think you guys broke that news there, or whatever. But it's not going to be great. And honestly, the black and white pass through on the PSVR 2 is going to kill any kind of mixed reality fun anyways. I mean, on the Quest 2, it's hot garbage. And the Quest 3, it looks surprisingly better, but it's not, it doesn't change the mixed reality-ness. It's like, ooh, this is great. It's still just like a lower resolution version of your room and whatever tabletop game you're playing in front of it. Like it makes the games fundamentally smaller and less complex because it has to be played in the space like right in front of you. And it's unfortunate that Apple pushed mixed reality so hard that now Meta's like, yeah, we do the same thing.
Right, and we're way cheaper.
Yeah, and it's frustrating to see, especially even developers that we know, where it's like, oh, now it's mixed reality, and it's fine if I saw something that it was interesting and used the medium properly, sure, but it's just boring. It's just mixed reality is boring to me, and every time I see someone like advertise it like it's the best thing ever for VR, it's like this is not why anyone in this chat bought a headset,
right?
And I just feel like these developers are just missing the message, because now where the metaverse was popular was made crazy 2 years ago when they dropped metaverse as like the next big thing. Now it's mixed. Now suddenly mixed reality is now suddenly the next big thing, and it's not. Now the mixed reality is so separate from VR, and they're gonna realize that, man. None of these games are gonna sell well.
Right.
I mean, I won't buy a game based on mixed reality. Jesus.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And dude, I mean, and honestly, I know this is sort of separate, but sort of related. I'm wondering how many people are going to move on from Quest 2 to Quest 3. Like people in our community, absolutely, right? Because they're hardcore VR gamers. But the reason that Quest 2 has supposedly sold millions of headsets is because it was cheap. You could get little Johnny a $300 headset, throw it under the Christmas tree, and be like, "Here you go," and then that shit collects dust after he's played Beat Saber like 20 times. That's done, And so, famously, games weren't selling on the Quest 2 already, unless you were a big name game, unless you were Gorilla Tag, right? Unless you were Beat Saber. Famously, not a place to go if you want to sell your games. And so, they're using these metrics that barely exist to sell their games over there. And now, like you said, as this showcase seemed to be a dumping ground for all these indie trailers, I feel like the Quest is also becoming a dumping ground for the indie games themselves. And so I just really hope that shit somehow comes together, because right now, like, if this is the future of VR, if Meta's leading the way, then like we need to stop fucking following them, because they're not carving a good path. Like we need to go we need to take a different direction.
The one thing they do, which I still support, I mean, is the fact that they separate App Lab and their main store. Because you look at their main store, their upcoming games, like there's some solid looking, some franchise names in there. You're like, oh shit, like that's coming. And unless you search for an App Lab game and type in the exact game, you're like you have to type in the name of the game exactly, or it will not show up in your search. You can't search for like platformer and get like a Ven or pop, I guess Ven's out of there. Doesn't matter. Anything in App Lab, unless you have a direct link for or search like for it directly, you can't find. So a lot of these games that we're seeing, one of the trailers said coming to the main store. They made it very clear,
right?
It's not an App Lab game, and I think that's the only thing that's saving them right now is the fact they separate that, because it's the only thing separating them from Steam is the fact that is this App Lab, the way where they kind of hide these things, and then every now and then they'll bring an App Lab game over to their main store, and it's kind of a problem that PlayStation has a bit, not nearly as much, where we are getting these smaller games that these games that still feel like they're in development that are just coming on the PlayStation main store. Stuff like even Galaxy Cards, I guess, is a good enough example where, it's only four. It was only four tracks. Like it very much felt like an early access game.
Yep.
And yet, but PlayStation doesn't have a filter for that. So, and there's no quality control in regards to the actual quality of the game. It's just to make sure it hits frame rates and make sure all the controllers work and that kind of thing. So, Yeah, it's just like this kind of showcase just kind of makes things just look a lot more messy than they are, because I mean, most of these games are going to be ignored. Like, realistically speaking, most of these games are going to go by the wayside. No one's going to care about them at all, and then we're just going to forget about them. But like I said, outside looking in, especially if you were watching on a different, IGN stream, that kind of thing, this showcase is not a good look for VR. It was a very, very poor look for VR, because like VR headsets aren't selling because people's conception of VR is like, why isn't this like the Matrix? Like, why isn't this real? And it's because technology, but it's beside the point.
Right, but Ready Player One came along, and it got everybody's expectations and in the wrong place. Right, this is the future. VR is going to be this. VR is going to be that. And then you try VR, and you're like, well, this isn't the future yet. We're not there yet. And
this whole showcase looks like a step back. Like it's like we've gone back even before 7 years. Like, we're seeing games that wouldn't even be cool with these visuals on the PSVR 1 headset.
Right.
And now we're just cool with it now because that's on standalone. Like, that's the only excuse in the world for just releasing anything, and it's just not a good look. Like, like I said, the promise of the PSVR 2, and even the Quest 3, even playing tethered to a PC, like, we should be getting these great experiences. And the only thing saving PC gaming right now is the Prey Dog. That's the only thing saving PC VR. Like, you're not playing anything new on PC VR. I guess Arizona Sunshine, but I mean, the PC releases are so few and far between for games that actually matter. It's not. It's in worse shape than the PSVR 2. It's not the right word. Worse shapes is dramatic, but you know what I'm saying. And then there's just this where it's like, look at all these games coming.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I should sell my headset now or wait 6 months and sell it. And I get it. I get where the naysayers are coming from, because, like I said, you want to justify the cost of your investment, and this showcase was not justifying anyone's headset purchase.
Right. And dude, and Quest 3 is so much more powerful than I think most people expected it to be. Like, as a standalone headset, it's getting so much closer to the power of the PSVR 2. Where we're actually outside of like maybe the limited hard drive space that they're dealing with over there, because it's standalone. It's bringing parity so much closer, so much faster than I think most people expected to between wired home console or PC VR and standalone. So it's kind of inexcusable. Like, we know that this thing is actually really powerful, and it can deliver some great visuals. Like, Quest 3 is a very cool device. I haven't even played it myself, and I can tell you, like, that I wasn't thinking of probably not getting one. But then I was like, you know what? After the whole slew of PSVR 2 games kind of comes to a close, in a few months when I'm finally getting caught up with reviews, I'm absolutely picking one up. It's just going to be nice to have one around. But it launched, without any games of its own. It launched without really showcasing its own power. And I think it's going to take a while, just, maybe like upwards of another 6 to 8 months before we start seeing games that really take advantage of it. But no one's criticizing it for that. Whereas they criticized PSVR 2 from day one, being like, well, where are the games? How come this doesn't look as good as it should? I mean, it's like, there's double standards all over the place. But the fact is, man, like, I know I just kind of went all over the map with a lot of different discussions, but like, it just shows that the VR industry as a whole, like, still has some growing pains, and we need to leave the console war shit aside. We need to just, we just need to, like, embrace the good games and try to let go of the bad games. Too often people are using the bad games as ammunition, being like, this headset sucks, that headset sucks, oh, VR is going down the drain. It's not. There's good stuff happening. We just need to put it all in perspective and keep it in perspective.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, we're specifically talking about this showcase, and like I said, outside looking into showcase is not a great showcase for VR, but this is specifically the showcase. I mean, we haven't seen anything from Sony in a while. Obviously, when Meta does their actual their own game showcase, we typically see higher quality games announced there. I mean, obviously Assassin's Creed and stuff, like, just, obviously, it's just for VR in general, especially with Quest 3. Like I said, once we start seeing Quest 3 exclusives, or not exclusive, but the game Quest 3 games that could be ported to PSVR 2 even, or PC, but that when we're not being held back by the Quest 2, because at this point now the Quest 2 is now holding back the VR market. I totally back that. I mean, it's the same way Quest 1 was before they axed that, and the Quest 2 being axed is going to happen. I mean, realistically, 2025 is when they're going to start, right?
Because there's just too many of them on the market, right?
Yeah, I mean, Quest 1 is officially done in April, I think. Or was it? Or I can't keep track. But its official end is either happened or it's coming very very soon. And then they can finally focus on that. But because the Quest 2 is still now the most the biggest headset out there, like games are now being built just for the Quest 2 largely, and it's just weird. Like we're relying on the standalone media or VR. Just it's too much, and I know why it's there. I understand perfectly where the money is, and I don't know how. I have no solution to break that cycle. But I mean, something eventually will break, or time will just eventually catch up, one way or another. It's just when.
Right. I mean, the good thing is that, like, you know, things are looking really good over here in PSVR 2 land. You know, obviously we just got Arizona Sunshine 2, which turned out to be pretty fun. We got Ancient Dungeons coming out, I believe this Friday, which I just saw some people in the chat talk about how great that is. And it is really great. We got Resident Evil 4 coming out this Friday. God damn it. What else? Vertigo 2 next week.
Yeah,
Jesus
Vertigo
Christ.
2 next week.
We got Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 coming out, I think, next week as well.
Yep.
Dude, it's just
14th. Yeah.
yeah, just a lot of fucking stuff, dude. A lot of fucking stuff. It's been nonstop. And it looks like
Don't forget about Tiger Blade.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Tiger Blade.
Going to my list here.
I hope Tiger Blade. I mean, just like the rest of these games that I'm unimpressed by, you know, via the trailer. I hope Tiger Blade ends up being a lot of fun. It doesn't look like a lot of fun based on what we've seen. Anyway. Listen, let's.
We still have more chat to do next in like what 3 hours. You're back on.
I don't want to talk about it. and in fact, I don't think we're going to talk about the Upload VR showcase tonight. If you guys are interested in the Upload VR showcase, hopefully this was enough talk for you. Me and Wes have enough to talk about without all this. But maybe, you know, there were a couple of interesting news stories that came out of this that we'll try to brush up on and see if we can find any more information about. Real quick though, before we get out of here, Ryan, we've got a couple of tips to talk about here in the chat. Dude, I don't even remember. This is so long ago. I don't remember what game Macho was talking about. He says with a $2 tip, his backpack has backpack and dog already better than Arizona Sunshine 2. That was an early game in the showcase.
That was that Convergence, I believe, is actually have it here.
Which was the Paradox of Fate dude, who this is his new version of that game, minus the copyright infringement. We got Macho again with a $5 tip. Says PSVR 2 without Parole, the best place to watch upload VR streams with best audio. Welcome all, and please hit like, guys. Thank you so much, Macho. Appreciate all the support during this. Hey, what's up, Tornado? What else did you say? Macho with the $2 tip says, hopefully the Game Awards shows a segment why PSVR 2 is better. He said VGA. He's talking about the Video Game Awards, right? The Game Awards.
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I wouldn't be holding my breath for that, but
I mean, the fact that like every game nominated was practically a PSVR 2 exclusive outside of Humanity. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it would be the perfect place to be like, hey, this game, you know, Village or Gran Turismo wins the award for best VR game of the year, and then they go, and now a Game Awards exclusive, and it's like, you know, the Uncharted VR or some shit like that.
If I remember the Game Awards from last year, the winner for best VR game was like a throwaway segment, but like right after commercial break, they're just like, oh, and by the way, the winner for best VR game is whatever and then they just moved right on. They didn't show any video. There was no
acceptance speech.
I wouldn't expect anything different this year as well. It's just go away VR. We don't like talking about you just yet until something happens. Like I can't wait till that one thing changes where all of a sudden people just care, where like it's not just IGN dipping their toe and covering one game, Arizona Sunshine, in the last like 4 months. I just when's that gonna happen? I'm really curious to see what's going. I guess Resident Evil 4, obviously everyone's gonna be all over that. But
I mean, hopefully, you know, like certainly I'm sure some outlets are just gonna let that fucking slide with no coverage, you know, because I think for most people at this point, you know, and I'm not trying to throw shade at like, you know, Kind of Funny or Last Stand Media, you know, but those are two of my favorites, you know. Greg and Colin were two of my favorite people, like especially before starting Without Parole, like they were an inspiration to do this. And both sites, both outlets have just stopped with the VR stuff. And anytime it comes up, they're very dismissive of it, you know. And these are guys that I absolutely love and desperately want them to give more attention to VR too. But, you know, I guess that gives me a reason to keep going. Gives us a reason to keep going, right? Because if the big guys aren't covering it, then we've got to.
Yep, I agree.
The Game Cat, formerly known as Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip, says, "This is sad. Here's $2." I feel was that a pity donation?
That's awesome.
Macho, the real estate procrastinating Game Cat with the $2 tip says, "I hope Jeff smokes them at the Game Awards with PSVR 2 games." Hell yeah, let's hope so. I don't, keep expectations in check, but it would be nice to see a nice little surprise. Drinks07 with the $5 tip says, "That show was straight trash shit show." On a good note, I was working from home, so it made my workday actually seem exciting for once. Aw, I'm glad we could keep you entertained while you're working from home. Man, oh man. I mean, I don't even know. I have no idea how that stream went, Ryan. To me, it seemed fraught with disaster, but hopefully it was at least entertaining for everyone to watch.
Hopefully we said enough to keep people laughing.
Yeah. Burnsy8709 with the £2 says, "Ancient Dungeon is awesome." Yeah, dude, I can't wait to get back in there. I don't think we're not going to cover it on tonight's show because Wes and I have way too much other shit to be doing. But it's a game that I want to make sure that I review. It's an indie game that's coming out between a slew of bigger titles that are obviously going to get attention first. But I want to swing back to Ancient Dungeon. I want to make sure that I have time to review Toy Trains, like all of these smaller indie games. It's what I always loved about working on with that Parole. It's like that. Like I wanted to make sure that the indie games get just as much attention as the big games, and I haven't been great at that lately because there's just been too much. But I will do my best to rectify that. MRI Gamer with the level 2 membership says, "Hayden found the site for the Bow controller. It's $105 to back, and that's 42% off the retail price."
Yeah.
So it's $150.
Good luck.
Yep.
For one very poor looking archery game. And I'm sure they must list more on that site, like potentially getting it, but like what? What do you get, like back support for, like what uses a bow that I even give a crap about?
Yeah. I mean,
nothing. Like it's
I mean, there's no way in hell that Gorilla's going to go implement this like support for this new bow controller in Call of the Mountain, which, although if they did, I guess it would be pretty cool. And it might even be a selling point for me. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I'll play through Call of the Mountain again with a new controller. But I don't know.
That's tough. That's a big ask.
Dude, it's Walkabout Mini Golf, one of my favorite VR games of all time. They offered to send me one of those grip to putter attachments.
Yeah.
And I reluctantly said yes, just because I'm like, only because it's my favorite. I have no desire to attach anything to a fucking Sense controller ever. But here we are. I'm going to give it a shot. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Yeah, Vince Virtua, Very Bad Dreams review. That is on the list. Like I haven't even had a chance to play through it again on PSVR 2. I've only played the first hour, not even. So yeah, absolutely, you guys. So there's so much that I want to get caught up on, and I apologize if anybody's waiting for something and it's not happening. Supposedly, Ryan, I'm doing the PSVR 2 award show in 24 days.
Nice. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, watching the upload showcase made me think that I could do it in about 30 minutes. But
just make sure your audio levels are good and you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, I haven't even started on it, and I really desperately need to get to work on it. But then these game keys keep coming, and the reviews take fucking 30 hours each. It's insanity. So hopefully the award show can happen. But man, I got to kick it into high gear very, very fast and stop doing this stupid sleep thing, because sleep is just getting in the way of getting shit done.
Right,
Ryan, dude. Thank you so much. I know this was not what you signed up for, a 2-hour stream, but I certainly appreciate you being here for the entire thing and keeping me entertained, as the chat did as well. Everybody, make sure you go subscribe to Ryan at the VR Grid. Great channel. And one of these days, Shughead will be back. One of these days.
I swear, he will. It's not just me. We're not pulling the wool over your eye, guys. He will be coming back. I swear.
Yep. I will say, when you sub for AJ on the Monday before last show, there was, dude, so much positivity in the comments. Not a single person had anything bad to say about you. Everybody was so happy to see you because they'd been, they hadn't seen you on a podcast for a while, and so
I try to be entertaining. I do try. So hopefully that's the whole point of this thing, is to make sure, people laugh and listen to what I have to say. Hopefully it sounds relatively smart, because I know I'm not, but here we are.
No, sounds relatively smart to me. Macho, the real estate procrastinating game cat with the $5 tip says, crazy how this showcase, you wouldn't think this is actually the best. Crazy how with this showcase, you wouldn't think this is actually the best week and month for VR. Well, at least for PSVR 2. Very misleading meta. Yeah. I mean, I think we can probably blame Upload for a good part of this, because they chose not to edit anything out. They chose not to edit anything down. A lot of these games would have looked great in a sizzle reel, but certainly not 2 minutes each. It's a lot. It's a lot of time to watch stuff that all kind of looks the same. All right, guys, time to get out of here. Ryan and I both have work to do, and of course we are. I'll be back here with Wes to normal Gamescast time. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you again, Ryan, for being here. Go subscribe to the VR Grid, guys. Have an excellent rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you back here in just 3 hours for Gamescast Live. We love you all.
Thanks for having me. See you guys.